Cooper Matcher here. In the port city of Plymouth, England, resided Casper, a cat best known for riding the local bus lines to the city center and back to the stop near where he lived. Casper became such a sensation that he appeared on the BBC News, was the subject of an editorial by The Guardian, and had a book written about him titled Casper the Commuting Cat by Susan Fendon. Adopted from an animal rescue center in Weymouth, Dorset in 2002 by Susan Fendon, he was known as Morse, after Inspector Morse. After his adoption, he underwent a name change when Susan, the new human in his life, noticed he kept on disappearing. Thinking of Casper the friendly ghost, she named him simply Casper. Independent and determined feline that he was, he frequently wandered off only to return many hours later. Susan noticed that Casper was not afraid of people or traffic. In fact, he seemed to have a certain affinity for being around large vehicles. Soon after adopting him, she began to hear that he had been seen visiting office buildings, doctors' offices, even pharmacies. Susan tried to keep him indoors to no avail. Casper was somewhat of a four-legged escape artist and always managed to find his way out of the house. In 2006, after moving to Plymouth, Casper continued his disappearing acts. Susan wondered where he would go when she was at work. It took her 3 years to find out Casper was actually riding buses while she was at work. After contacting the bus company and speaking with some of the drivers, they told Fendon that Casper would politely queue along with other passengers at the nearest bus stop to his home, hop in, and simply occupy his favorite seat. He would then ride the bus for the 11-mile trip that would take him around town and back to the bus stop from whence he started each day's journey. Casper was such a likable and friendly commuter that drivers, as well as passengers, went out of their way to accommodate his amusing behavior. Touched by the kindness of strangers, Susan wrote a letter to the local newspaper, the Plymouth Herald, in order to publicly thank those strangers who were kind to him. Her letter led to an article by the Herald about him. Eventually, British and international news agencies picked up Casper's story, making him an instant celebrity. He was even featured in a BBC News segment in which he was captured on film boarding and getting off a bus. On January 14, 2010, unfortunately, Casper was hit by a taxi while crossing the street. The driver did not stop to help him and he died of his injuries. Fiden posted a notice at his bus stop that read, "Many local people knew Casper, who loved everyone. He also enjoyed the bus journeys. Sadly, a motorist hit him and did not stop. Casper died from his injuries. He will be greatly missed. He was a much-loved pet who had so much character. Thank you to all who befriended him." Well, that's not really the happy ending I had hoped for, but it's a great story. And thank you, Auntie Pam in England, for the story. Cooper Matcher here. Ciao.